This is Andre Touchy-Feely. You listen to the Verbal Scrap Podcast. Let's get weird.
This is the Shark, Anthony Avila. You're listening to Verbal Scrap.
This is Keto Andrews, and you're listening to the Verbal Scrap Podcast. This is Nan Fan, and you're listening to the Verbal Scrap Podcast. I'm a fighter. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to fight.
Hey, this is Dave Hirschbein, MMA Gold, and you're listening to the Verbal Scrap.
I've worked so hard to do what I got to do in here. I took so much blood for this sport. I took so much pain, everything for the sport.
Hey, y'all, this is Zeke Johnston. You're listening to SRMMA.com Verbal Scrap. Stay tuned. They got some good stuff coming up.
You are listening to the Verbal Scrap Podcast on SRMMA.com, the all-inclusive, comprehensive combat coverage website for anything you need local MMA. We try our best to get as much news out there about the combat world as possible. If you're interested in contributing to anything we'd like to do, you can email me, jw@srmma.com. Or if you're interested in advertising or any of our other projects, email info@srmma.com for more. Like I said, we're on the 44th episode, the Verbal Scrap Podcast, the best 44th show, period. We are on a roll today with so much to talk about. I am your host, Jaywa, in studio with producer Dennis, who won't be saying much today. He's partially mute. And I am going to be with no co-host because majority of them have their reasons. Many of them are lazy. So I'm just going to go ahead and put all the work in myself. And you're going to be enjoying it here on SRMMA.com. We got UFC news to discuss. Antonio Nogueira and Fabricio Verdum, big fight card that happened, the Tough Brazil finale. We also got a lot of local stuff going on as far as World Series of Fighting 3 news, with some Huckabah news that is just unfortunate. It's really unfortunate to hear. But UFC news, some Muay Thai global coverage that we were able to get into. AOW, Art of War, is going to be having another fight in August. We got some interviews that we're going to be playing for you guys. Interesting stuff like Mike Tyson discussing what Evander Holyfield's ear tastes like. So we'll be getting to all kinds of that and more. You're on the Verbal Scrap Podcast, brought to you by so many of our lovely sponsors and contributors. I want to take a second to spotlight 5150 Fightwear. Give a shout out to Riley Prissock for doing all the things that he does for SRMA and being a cool cat, partner of our brand. And we want to give you guys the opportunity to go check him out at 5150fightwear.com or on Facebook. Give them a like, show them some love. Really cool fight gear. They're coming out with some new gear all the time, so you got to check out their new line, 5150 Fightwear. First, let's get into some UFC news. Nogueira and Fabricio Verdum. Verdum was the student. He looked up to Nogueira, and now he had the opportunity to beat him. Verdum was looking like a beast lately in the UFC, and now Nogueira, coming off a recent loss, but then he was able to pick up a victory. He was looking forward to this matchup, and let's hear some highlights before we get into more.
We had 2 top 10 heavyweights, and Fabricio Verdum trying to prove that he should get the next shot at the title.
Listen, Verdum came right out and wanted to set a tone real early and let Big Nog know tonight is going to be different. The second that Mario Yamasaki gave him a chance, he closed the distance, he got a hold of him, and he threw him to the ground. Now, this is going to get real exciting. You got Verdum's decorated. You got Big Nog, who is his idol, on the ground. They start going every which way but loose. Around and around they go. And Big Nog's constantly, in Big Nog style, trying to get back up to his feet. When he does, you can almost see the body language of Verdum change. Verdum almost kind of swallowed real deep and realized, I'm in a fight here. Big Nog constantly pushing forward, starts to change everything. Now, in this second round, I really thought Verdum was fading. Eventually, Verdum turned the tide, went back to the same single leg we saw in the first round, gets him down again. Here's where things get real interesting.
And that was the key point of the fight. Big Nog goes for a guillotine, ends up on his back, and then we're seeing Verdum what Verdum does, and he was just more mobile on top. He moves and spins. He finds his far side armbar and impressively submits the man who has the most submission victories in UFC history, Big Nog.
Right, how did he tap him here? Did he verbally tap? I never did see a hand tap. I think Big Nog actually said something and Verdum let go in sportsmanship. That's what I think. I've seen this from a couple of different angles. This is the finish, guys. Right there. It's over.
Absolutely. Again, Verdum, he avenges a loss to Minotauro Nogueira. All right, folks.
And who better to give you their opinion of the fight than the man who won it himself?
But when I see the opportunity in the ground, I got the armbar.
Yeah, let's talk about that submission, because in the arena it was sort of a strange thing. So did you hear him submit? What was it like on your end?
Yeah, because my strategy is just fighting the stand-up force, but I saw he punched very hard. Yeah, I go in the ground because I have more possibility in the ground. I punched him because he gave the back. When he gave the back, I grabbed the back. After then, I got the arm bar.
Let's talk about the title picture. You've been out of it a little while because you've been filming The Ultimate Fighter. Where do you feel you fit in the division right now, and how close to a title shot do you think you are?
I think the UFC gave me the opportunity. For sure, I'm training a lot now because I know it's very hard when you go inside the octagon. It's so different. When you train in the gym, it's completely different. I'm just training a lot again because I'm just wait maybe the next fight, Cain Velasquez versus Cigano. I'm a commentator, I'm a commentator too. I'm just stay there. I'm just watch the guys. And maybe the next one, I don't know. The guys give me the opportunity. I'm fight for sure.
Now,
Verdum is definitely one of the guys in the heavyweight picture set to potentially get a matchup against a guy like Cain, who's been going ahead and knocking out guys throughout the division. So the heavyweight picture is slowly but surely clearing up. Verdum has made a very solid case to get back in the title hunt. And, with an impressive victory like that over Nogueira, there's really no way that you can deny him at least the respect due as one of the top contenders in the division. So it's interesting to see how Nogueira will bounce back from this and how Verdum will go ahead and push forward in the division. A lot more on the card, including Thiago Silva, Rafael Cavalcante, Eric Silva versus Jason High. But first, we wanted to get into some Art of War coverage. Their next event is scheduled for August 3rd, Chicken Ranch Casino. One of the fights on the card, Baby Ray Severa of Team Ultimate Fitness, is going to be taking his 6-2 record into the cage against Johnny Mares and for the vacant title fight. So we were able to catch up with Baby Ray and get his word. So let's hear what he had to say.
It's JY from SRMA.com. We're talking to Baby Ray Severa. You're going to be fighting August 3rd, Art of War, for a title. I mean, how's training going in preparation for this? You still got a while to go, a couple months, but I mean, what's your game plan coming into this fight?
Game plan is going to be the same as always. Really pit pressure forward and drag my opponent to deep waters and drown him. That's what I'm trying to do. So.
Well, you're going to be going up against Johnny Mares. He was able to get a big victory at Gladiator Challenge. He looks like he's a guy that can definitely implement the wrestling. Is not afraid to throw hands. I mean, have you seen any of them? And if so, what do you think?
Yeah, he's really tough. I've gotten a chance to watch him fight a couple of times, and he does good things out there. He's making the way down from 170 to 155. So, we're going to see how things play out in the cage. I'm looking forward to the test.
Well, here at Titans Cage tonight, you were in the corner of a couple guys. All the alpha male guys seem to be victorious. And what do you think about their performances and what the amateur alpha male guys are able to do inside the cage?
Yeah, the alpha male team was great. Rafael Hernandez, congratulations. Congratulations to all the alpha male guys. Uriah Faber is doing really great things with them. And, I can't say anything else but congratulations. Their work ethic is great. And I just wish them all the success they can achieve. So.
Well, coming into this Art of War fight, two more things for you. I mean, they've been able to kind of build their own product. They've recently become a feeder to UPC and other organizations like that. I mean, what do you think about Art of War as an organization and the opportunity to take home their title?
Art of War is great. They're one organization that I've found really helps their fighters, really cares about their fighters. So it's a great establishment to fight for. I really appreciate them giving me the opportunity, allowing to fight for a title. And, I'm fighting a tough guy, so I thank them for that too.
Well, last thing I wanted to ask you, I mean, what kind of performance do you think you need to put on? What kind of performance do you want to put on? And when you see this fight, I mean, how have you seen it play out in your head so far?
I've seen it play out multiple ways, and all of them lead to me being victorious. I just have to push the pace with this guy. He's tough. A lot of work, a lot of movement, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you can find tickets at AOWMMA.com and more information at SRMA.com. I want to thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Remember, he's going to be taking on Johnny Mares for the vacant lightweight title on August 3rd, Chicken Ranch Casino. Also on the same card, challenge for the vacant welterweight title with a former middleweight champion, Buddy Wallace, taking on Jeremy Ibarra for that title. We were able to catch up with Buddy Wallace after his DJ Roberson victory. So let's hear what the potential champion has to say. It's JWA from SRMA.com on the Verbal Scrap Podcast with former AOW champion Buddy Wallace. You're going to be making a run at another title soon. How you doing today, sir?
I'm pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward to this August matchup. But first, I was looking to talk to you about your DJ Roberson fight. It didn't take too long. I mean, what did you see coming from DJ Roberson in the bout, and how did you kind of work your way towards your submission victory?
I was just feeling really good about that fight. Everything was clicking in training. We were all training really hard, getting ready. as a team, and it was kind of a matchup between our camp versus theirs, so we had that mindset just ready from the start. And, I just went out there and just set the pace high right in the beginning, took it to him, and just wanted to see how he reacted, and was able to get the submission late in the first round.
Well, coming off the Pearson's loss, I mean, what did you feel coming into this as far as any pressure, any thoughts, or any hopes to better, anything? I mean, what did you take into this fight, and then now that you were able to get the victory, I mean, did you feel like you were able to accomplish some of your goals?
Yeah, honestly, I just wanted to prove to everyone and to myself what I'm capable of, and I felt like I really did that. I just didn't feel like I was myself in that fight against Mike Person, so I didn't really set too many goals. I didn't try to overthink anything too much. I just wanted to go out there and do what I could and see how it went from there. And luckily, it turned out well for me.
Well, now you're going to be fighting August 3rd, a challenge for the vacant welterweight title. I mean, now that you're going to get another shot at AOW Gold, I mean, what do you think about that opportunity?
Yeah, I'm excited. I was a little disappointed that I didn't get to fight the champ, but, that's how things go sometimes. I'm just going to take the next opponent just like I would him. I'm going to be going for gold and go from there. I think it'll be a great step for me and lead me in the right direction for my career.
Well, as far as I know, you're going to be fighting Jeremy Ibarra. He seems like a guy that's got a couple finishes, but uses his hands more often. I mean, what do you think about fighting another guy that's most likely going to bring you a stand-up challenge, especially coming off a guy like Roberson, who's clearly a taller striker?
Yeah, he looks like a tough opponent. He looks built pretty more towards my height and everything. So I feel like it's going to be a good stand-up battle back and forth. I'm going to try to utilize every skill that I have. So if it goes to wrestling, just like in the Roberson fight, I'll start off on the feet and see where the fight takes me. But I'm pretty excited about this guy. I feel like we're going to match up well against each other and give the fans a great show.
Well, I had a few more, but I wanted to ask you slightly about something a little different. You trained with the Last Stand Fight Team. What do you think about Mike McDonald's Brad Pickett matchup coming up later on this year? You're going to be fighting in Boston.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited about it. Our whole team's excited. We can't wait to see Mike get back on track. We know he's going to train hard for this fight and be ready to go guns blazing when the time comes.
Well, back to you. I mean, being a welterweight title, I mean, you previously were the middleweight champ. I mean, what do you think it would say about what you'd be able to accomplish in Art of War if you were able to, win a title in different divisions?
I feel it would show my diversity. I feel like later on in my career, I'll probably be hopping back up to 185. I don't think I'll go down much further because I like to stay kind of big with my frame. So, I feel like it'll be good. Just good background that I've gained at Chicken Ranch, and hopefully send me off to a bigger show and face tougher opponents. That's what I'm looking to do, is fight the best in our area and eventually, wherever. So I'm just excited for this to boost my exposure, hopefully.
Well, the last thing I wanted to ask you, before you said you were trying to take fights, you're feeling really confident, and after you were getting into a winning groove. I mean, what are you moving forward, especially with the Jeremy fight coming up now, just coming off a win? I mean, what are you looking to change as far as pacing yourself and starting with this August fight?
I'm starting to realize it's more of how comfortable and confident I feel in myself. So I feel like as long as I train as hard as I can for every single fight, treat it like the next fight it is, and once a fight's set, that's the only fight you're focusing on and need to worry about. So I'm just going to take them a fight at a time, train as hard as I can, and hopefully feel like I'm at the best that night.
Well, any thank yous or shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Shout out to the Last Stand Fight Team, Professor Tom Theophanopoulos. I'd like to thank those guys for all they've done for me, and also my sponsors, Game Face Fight Gear. The Chicken Ranch Casino has been helping us through a lot of shows. It's starting to get bigger and bigger. It's not too big yet, but, we're just making do with what we can. It's turned out to be a great show. So I'm just excited to keep fighting for those guys and keep bringing on the tough opponents.
Well, you can find tickets for the August 3rd welterweight title matchup at AOWMMA.com when they're available, and more coverage at SRMA.com. I want to thank you again for your time, sir.
Thanks, Johnny. You have a good one.
Back into the Verbal Scrap Podcast, the 44th show, the best 44th show, period. You're listening to it on SRMMA.com, comprehensive combat coverage. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/SRMMA, or on Twitter at SRMMA Tweets. You can find more Art of War information at AOWMMA.com for their August 3rd bout, which you just heard Baby Ray and Buddy Wallace discussing. And we got so much more in store for you, including War MMA news with Caleb Mitchell, one of our big guests, going to be discussing his co-main event matchup on June 22nd, and a little bit about some time in Guatemala where he actually had to ward off machete robbers. That's right, dudes robbing him with machetes. We have more information coming up on the podcast, but right now we are getting back into some UFC on Fuel 10 coverage with Thiago Silva, who took on Rafael Feijão, was able to get a big knockout victory, the only knockout on the card.
Chael, tell us.
All right, this fight, the only thing, Jay, that I regret in this fight is that it ended in the first round. I could have watched these guys go at it all night long. So they get in here and they're mixing up. And Cavalcante is very confident. You can see in the way that he's throwing his shots, he believes in himself. He's also landed with tremendous power. Bad news for him is Thiago Silva was doing a great job of blocking and covering up. I truly believe, huge elbow right there. But please notice that Thiago doesn't wobble or get hurt. I truly believe his ability, Thiago's ability to absorb these blows, started to break Cavalcante mentally a little bit. And here comes Thiago. He starts landing, coming on strong, gets him down, boom, finish him off. Referee steps in and breaks it up.
Put him to sleep. Again, you see him following up once again. They're beautiful uppercut there, right, guys? Beautiful. Continues to do damage at the end there. Thiago Silva, he gets the victory there. And Silva, it's his 11th first round finish, 13th by knockout.
It was really great to see him coming back and being so dominant in a performance where he was going against a top opponent, especially after being banned for his banned performance substances policy when he was abusing it, and he got in trouble, and now he came back. He was able to look great, and he's been able to look great lately, kind of putting all that behind him and moving forward in the UFC. He was able to catch up with Kyle Bryan afterwards, so let's hear.
Tonight, what are you feeling right now about this victory?
I'm feeling great, because I had another good opportunity to fight a tough guy, and I win, so I think everything is going very well, and I'm so happy. That's it.
Well, it looked like Feijão was kind of dictating the pace of the fight initially. When did you see the tide turn? When did you see that you had the opportunity to go in there and finish him?
I just follow my instructions. I just listen to my coach. They told me to be very patient. To wait for the right moment. So that's all what I did. I was very confident, very calm. I just listen to my coach. That's it.
Now, you've had a lot of ups and downs in your career. What are you going to do to keep on the up path right now, to keep things consistent and have some good victories?
I'm going to keep my focus, my mind very clear, and training hard every day like I do, always. I like to train, I like to fight, I love to compete, so just keep on focus.
UFC Tonight.
Remember, UFC 161, Evans and Henderson also coming up in the UFC future, so keep an eye out for that. More UFC on Fuel 10 coverage coming, but I wanted to get into a little section of announcements. First announcement, John Jones set to fight Alexander Gustafsson. That's right, Jones will be defending his title against Gustafsson in the future. And that's an interesting matchup because Gustafsson has been recently touted as a guy that could challenge Jones for that title. So now it's finally going to be happening. Hopefully Jones's toe will be 100% because that still looked disgusting, which you can check it out on SRMA.com. But I'm saying you're going to have to be strong in the tummy first because, man, it even took me a few times. Also, another announcement on the card. Dave Huckabee was scheduled to fight Holmes Gracie. You might have seen that on SRMA.com. We had the full interview with Huckabee. Recently, it was reported by Yahoo Sports, who I believe cited it from somewhere else, that Holmes Gracie injured his wrist, was going to pull out. So that's why you weren't able to see Huckabee on the WSOF3 card. So that is our second announcement. And third announcement, Bas Rutten has a YouTube channel. Are you serious? Bas Rutten, YouTube? How can you possibly go wrong with that? I have no idea why on earth you wouldn't subscribe immediately.
Boss Rutten here. I want to invite you to the official Boss Rutten YouTube channel. But why, boss? Why do you want us to come to your channel? Because I have a lot of stuff going on there. Oh, really? Like what? Exclusive interviews, movie clips, commercial clips, fight instructionals. And did you know that I did all the motion capture for Grand Theft Auto 4? Oh, yeah. I even have my own TV channel in there. I even worked for EA Sports. I fought zombie puppets. Oh, and my own action figure came to life. Oh, yeah. That clip is right there. You want to start your week very happy? Well, watch every Monday morning a few clips on my channel. That will do the trick. And during the week, when you're getting tired and you need a good old kick in the pills, well, you know what to do. That's right. You watch the official Boss Rutten YouTube channel. Godspeed, party. And now I'm very dizzy, and for some reason I lost my shirt.
It's one of the best clips I believe I have ever seen. You will be able to check that out on the Facebook, facebook.com/SRMMA. That'll do it for some quick announcements. Let's get into some local coverage from SRMMA.com. We checked out Muay Thai Global's second event at Jackson Rancheria. Took place earlier this month. Really awesome card. It's fantastic traditional Muay Thai for all you fans that don't know. They'll be having their next event September 27th, I believe. You can check out MuayThaiGlobal.net for more information, but this particular card saw Carlos Galvan take the MTG title with a decision victory. We were able to catch up to him after the bout, so let's hear his thoughts.
This is JY from SRMMA.com. We're here live at Muay Thai Global 2, post-fight victorious new champion Carlos Galvan. I mean, how do you feel now that you got the belt around your wrist?
Man, it's, all the effort, the hard work pays off, and that's a little bit of what I deserve, I guess. It feels good to win.
Well, coming into the fight, it was a 5-round fight. It went the distance. I mean, how do you feel after the bout, and how do you feel you performed cardio-wise overall?
Cardio-wise, I felt pretty good. I stayed kind of relaxed during the whole fight. I didn't want to do nothing crazy because I never done the 5-round before. But, Andrew Capurro is a very tough guy. I fought him before, and he was still a hard fight,
Well, it looked like you were the more aggressive guy. You were able to land more often. I mean, coming into the fight, did you think you were going to be able to land more often with the elbows or more often with the strikes?
Not really. I was just trying to avoid his left kick, and whatever come back at him, I would throw a hook or a leg, whatever.
Well, in the clinch, it looked like you were the most strong. I mean, he was trying to outmuscle you there, and you were able to battle him back. I mean, what did you feel about your strength before I let you go?
Oh, no, in the clinch, the last fight, I also dominated him, so... I felt pretty confident in it, so I did my work.
Well, now as a champion, how are you going to celebrate?
Go out with all my friends, all my teammates, and go somewhere to eat.
Well, do you have any thank yous or shout outs before we let you go, sir?
I want to say thank you to all my team, to Angel, to George, to everyone that helped me out. This belt is our belt, it's not only mine. Thank you, and say hello to my wife and my dad that came here to see me, and also the friends come support me too.
Well, you can find post-fight coverage at SRMA.com. Thank you for talking to us, champion.
Thank you. Thanks.
Also on the card, Cristobel, Hernandez, and Gary BASSI were able to get their debut victories in the sport. They looked outstanding doing that, landing some fantastic shots. You'll be able to check out all the coverage and multimedia pieces at SRMMA.com right now. We were able to speak with both of them after the fight, so let's first hear Hernandez and then Mr. BASSI.
This is JY from SRMMA.com. We're here live at Muay Thai Global 2, post-fight victorious Cristobel Hernandez. How did you feel coming out here being 0-0 and having the support that you did?
Felt great. I had a lot of people coming out from San Francisco. It was a bit of a drive, but they showed a lot of support, which I'm really grateful, and I have a lot of family inside the ring and outside. So.
Well, coming into the fight, it looked like you were taking as much in from the spectacle as you could. What were your thoughts coming into this bout?
Yeah, I just wanted to see first round how he was giving. As soon as I felt it, I was like, I knew I could engage as much more if I can, or when I wanted to.
Well, it looked like you were able to land some really powerful shots. He had a lot of visible damage. What did you think about the way you were able to land? And it looked like you guys were exchanging shot for shot a little while.
Yeah, it was part of my game plan. Cruz had my head instructor. He told me you're faster than him. Just let your hands go, which I did in the second round, and caught him clean shots with the left hook, straight punches. I see his eye kind of swell up on the side, and that's what gave me more confidence for the third round and just push right through at the end and give me
one of the last things I wanted to ask you, I mean, now that you've gotten the experience, I mean, what do you take in the most? What do you enjoy the most from it? And what do you want to do moving forward?
Oh, I enjoy everything, to the nerves, to the nights I can't sleep, to cutting weight, being here, being in front of my family, friends, and, you know, I'm embracing everything. You know, I love Muay Thai for the art and everything, not just the fighting, but like it's a way of fighting, a way of living. It's not just fighting. It's Muay Thai is the way of living. You know, that's how I see it. So every aspect of it, I love it.
Well, do you have any shout-outs, any thank yous you'd like to give before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to say a shout-out to World Team USA, my gym, my camp, all the world champions I train with there, Michael Maniquil, Kai Hollenbach, TJ Archangel, Cruz Sam, my head instructor. He showed me everything. I've been with him for years, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without him. And shout out to all my friends and family from work, outside of work, and thank you guys for all the support.
Well, you can find post-fight coverage at srmma.com. I want to thank you for your time, Cristobal.
Thank you.
This is JY from srmma.com. We're here live at Muay Thai Global 2. Victorious, Gary BASSI. I mean, how did you feel about the fight? You were able to land some really devastating strikes, and it looked like he was a tough opponent, but you were able to overcome.
Yes, I just thought like he was taller than me, and then when I walked in, I kind of thought he was nervous. That gave me a big boost when I saw that, and then from there, I was able to like go into his zone and throw a couple punches.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Coming into the fight, he's clearly the taller opponent. I mean, what were you thinking? Just moments before you guys engaged?
I was thinking I was going to land a lot more body shots because I thought his guard would be up and his body will be clean and wide open. So I was thinking I'm going to get a lot of body shots, but it worked the other way around. I was able to get on his head.
Well, early on, you were able to land a really solid shot that kind of dropped him face first in the mat. I mean, did you think he was going to get back from that?
I didn't think so.
Well, I mean, what did you see afterwards? I mean, it looked like he was able to regain himself pretty well and get back on his game. I mean, what were you thinking? What were you hoping to do?
It's okay. I still knew I got him. So that really boosted me up, and I knew if I can do it one time, I can do it again.
Well, one of the last things I wanted to ask you, like you said, body shots were a key. It looked like you were able to land some really solid body shots. I mean, coming into it, was that what you were hoping was going to finish the fight?
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Landed a lot more body shots.
Well, last thing, do you have any thank yous, any shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Yes, I want to thank the whole team, whole Warrior team, for believing in me, bringing me here, putting a lot of hard work into me, and I want to thank my family and friends, too.
Well, you can find post-fight coverage at srma.com. I want to thank you for talking to us, Gary.
Thank you, sir.
Correction, their next bout will be September 21st at Jackson Rancheria. You can find all the ticket information at MuayThaiGlobal.net or at Jackson Rancheria's site. And you got to check these guys out, man. This show was fantastic. This particular event was outdoors. It had a traditional Muay Thai style dance. It was outstanding to see how many people were into the tradition and the culture of the sport. So I want to thank those guys for having SRMA out there and being involved with us and letting us go out there and cover their event. It was an outstanding time. And like I said, September 21st, you're going to have to catch out another one. Also in the card, Jimmy Machado was able to win a rematch over Phil De Vera. We were able to catch up with the Team Black representative, so let's hear his thoughts.
This is JY from srma.com. We're here live at Muay Thai Global 2. Post-fight with a victorious Jimmy Machado. I mean, what did you think about this rematch after going through the first one? What did you think what he was able to bring away this time around?
It felt about the same as last time. He brought the pressure. He hits hard. But I felt a little bit more in shape this fight, and I kind of picked my shots a little better, I felt. And being able to use the elbows helped out a lot as well.
Well, it looked like you were able to land your power shots a lot more often. He was able to land some. I mean, what did you think about the shots he landed compared to the ones that you landed? And it looked like the ones you landed were, like I said, much more consistent.
Yeah, well, I'm not too sure what it looked like to everybody else, but the shots he did land, I felt them. So that just made me want to hit him harder. So I don't know, I would have to watch it on film and just give you a clear answer on that.
Well, coming into the rematch, I mean, was there anything specific you were looking to do knowing you faced him once? Is there anything you thought he might bring your way?
Yeah, I know he brings the pressure. He's always coming forward a lot. So I knew if I used that push kick just to keep him away, and then I could set up my power shots. And I'm always good at catching the kick. So catching the kick and putting him on the canvas was one of the game plans there.
Well, last thing I wanted to ask you, it looked like you said you were the more powerful guy. We were able to catch the kicks, you were able to put him down a few times, and when you were really aggressive, you were able to land your cleaner shots. Is being aggressive something you want to keep doing in the future, and where do you want to take this?
Yeah, I'm not too sure where I want to take this Muay Thai and this fighting career, but I always want to be more powerful and stronger and faster. So I'll just work on that, and being aggressive is always good when it comes to fighting. So,
any thank yous or shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Shout out to Team Black, George Masui's gym, Combat Fitness, and Functional Muscle Fitness out there in Concord, California.
Thank you so much. You can find post-fight coverage at srma.com. I want to thank you so much for your time, Jimmy.
All right, thank you.
The knockout on the card that came really quickly in the first round, it was really outstanding to watch, was Jacob YCARO. It was also his debut, and he said he was very nervous, but he looked outstanding inside the ring. He had to get hit with an illegal shot first before he got going, but he was very thankful for his team, and we caught up with him after the fight. So let's hear his thoughts.
It's JY from SRMA.com. We're here live at Muay Thai Global 2, post-fight with Jacob YCARO. You got the quick first-round KO. What did you think about the whole experience? I mean, there's not a ton to take in, but, you look really solid out there with your 1-2.
I was really nervous because it was my first fight, but after I got hit in the balls, kind of woke me up a little bit, and I felt more ready. Yeah.
Well, coming into it, what did you think about, the potential matchup, it being your first, and what did you get out of it afterwards?
I thought it was a good matchup because he was smaller than me. I was taller. What was the other question?
And after the fight, what do you take from it that you kind of most enjoyed?
I enjoyed the knockout a lot, but I got a lot to work on. I didn't really think it was a technical fight. It was more of a brawl. I just threw punches, so I just got to keep training.
Well, it looked like you were initially able to daze him. Did you catch that right away, or did you just take your time? What were your thought process when you first hit him?
After the 1-2, when I got knocked down, I could tell that I could have finished the fight. Yeah, so, I knew I could finish the fight.
Well, during the finish, it looked like he was dazed with the left, and then you went in for the kill. What did you see, and how'd you go about it?
I could see in his eyes that he wasn't fully healed, so I just gave it to him, try to finish it as soon as possible.
Well, moving forward, what do you want to do with this? Was this more like a hobby for you, or are you looking at combat as a career? What are your thoughts?
I'm just taking it day by day. I'd love to do it as a career, but we'll see. Take it day by day.
Well, do you have any shout-outs, any thanks before we let you go?
Just want to say I love my family and I love my mom.
We can find post-fight coverage at srma.com. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
You are listening to the Verbal Scrap Podcast, sponsored by OneFitBody.net. You can check out One Body, their integrated training and therapy systems out in El Dorado Hills. The man, Ty Silva, is a knowledgeable man, degreed out of the yin-yang, and he knows about everything from therapy to building strength and muscle. So you got to check him out at OneFitBody.net for more information. They got all kinds of deals on new memberships, so check them out immediately. They do sponsor SRMA.com, so you got to check them out. Back to UFC on Fuel TV 10. One last fight we wanted to talk about. Eric Silva, the guy is always fun to watch. He was able to get another victory. So let's hear the highlights.
I'm Jason High, and Eric Silva is a guy I've been very high on. No pun intended.
Sure. Well done. I see what you did there. Look, let's jump right into it. This is a big deal for one reason, guys. The last time an American wrestler came over to Brazil and took on Eric Silva, big upset, and Silva really struggled. This time, Silva was more than ready to get on the ground, grapple, and roll around. Now, he gets on here, he takes dominant position early, and that's relevant because when you're dry, it's very hard to get out of things. Jason High started to do this the right way, got his rear end up, makes his head low, starts to shake, but Silva just had him too doggone tight. When he wraps those legs around him, he simply would not let go, forcing the submission. Right there in the first round, that was darn near the whole fight.
And look at that, never got any space there from his hips up there to the shoulder, even when he was trying to shake him off.
Oh, what a big backflip. But it's relevant to our fans. That highlight was almost the whole fight. It's pretty quick.
It was pretty quick, and just for you guys that don't know, that was his 8th first-round finish. His UFC record now is 3-2, so Eric Silva, one of the top guys in the division. Looking forward to seeing more of him. For you guys that don't know, you haven't checked out SRMA.com, some news you might see up there. Remember, Anthony Avila set to go across the pond and fight Cal Uno in Japan June 22nd, so check out the coverage. Also, Justin Baseman going to be fighting at the War MMA event, the main event of the evening, going to be fighting Daniel Roberts in Stockton, so you got to check out that information. We got more War MMA coverage coming up really shortly, but first I wanted to get into some other events that might be going on in the area. If you're down in Salinas on July 27th, check out the Central Coast Throwdown Heavy Hitters event happening at the Fox Theater in Salinas, ccthrowdown.com for more of that information. Also, UFC Fight Week. You got to check out UFC Fight Week. If you haven't checked out UFC 162, it's Anderson Silva going to be fighting Chris Weidman on July 6th. We'll be covering some stuff for you guys on July 5th from the event, so you got to check that out. And also MMA Day, Gilbert Melendez is going to be hosting an event, a camo amateur event, June 22nd at Discovery Kingdom. We were able to talk to two guys from the fight. One debuting gentleman, Roger Severson. So let's first hear him. It's JWA from SRMMA.com. We're on the Verbal Scrap podcast. We're talking to Roger Severson, who's going to be making his MMA debut at the Saturday, June 22nd MMA Day, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine, doing great, excited.
Well, looking at this matchup, I mean, like I said, you're going to be making your debut. What are your thoughts coming into this fight, and what do you think this might bring your way as far as a learning experience?
I think it'll be a learning experience. I mean, any kind of it's going to bring any kind of experience out of any, so it'll bring a good experience for me. But I mean, I'm excited for the fight. Can't wait, and just thinking train hard, be ready.
Well, you know, outside of the cage, I mean, what's your thing, and what got you into the mindset of maybe moving inside to the cage? Is it training, or did you kind of get pushed towards it? What's getting you what's moving you towards this MMA day?
MMA day, what made me decide to train was, I mean, I'm looking for something to hopefully take care of my family. My family's growing. My second child is due today.
Oh, congratulations, man.
So I'm just sitting there trying to provide for my family. That's my mindset. Do whatever I can, put my body on the line to try to provide for them.
Well, you train with the Knuckle Up Nobodies guys. I mean, how's training been going in preparation for this fight? What have you been working on specifically, and what are you hoping to use most in your cage debut?
We've been working on everything, and on my debut, I'm going to be ready for anything. I mean, just stay prepared. I've got great coaches, great teammates. I really feel blessed to be able to find a gym and a team that are so humble and hungry and just willing to help out and try to. I mean, everybody's just trying to learn off of everybody. You know that there's nobody that's trying to be the alpha male and stingy with their time. I mean, great group of guys, and I really feel blessed to be able to, find a gym that's like that for my first gym.
Well, as far as I know, you're fighting a guy who's going to be training out of El Nino Training Center. I mean, what is that perspective? You know, you got to be excited that Gilbert Melendez, a UFC veteran now, is going to be hosting the event, but also you're going to be fighting a guy that does train with El Nino Training Center.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. It's going to be a real good test. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a battle. And I mean, like I said, I've got great coaches, great teammates, and I've just been preparing. I'm ready for it,
Well, when you look at this fight, I mean, last thing I wanted to ask you, how do you hope it goes down for you? I mean, are you looking for anything in particular? Are you hoping that you go the distance and get the most out of it? Or are you hoping for like a quick finish? I mean, what's the way you see it going down for you?
How I want it, or I want the W. I mean, any way, shape, or form. Put too much blood, sweat, and heart into this whole training camp to not get the win. And I mean, by any means necessary. I'm gonna put my whole heart on the line out there. It's my debut, and it's in my hometown. I'm from Vallejo, so this is in my backyard, and I'm ready to represent. My team, my gym, and my city at all costs.
Well, do you have any thank yous or shout outs you'd like to give, sir?
Just for my girlfriend, who's supported me through this whole thing. It's a selfless sport that we train for, and for her to stand by my side and support me and believe in me. It just means the most to me. I couldn't repay her in 20 lifetimes if I tried. So I just want her name's Christina Hagen. And I love you, and thank you for supporting me through this whole time, and I will be by your side and provide for you as best I can for my whole life.
Well, you can find ticket information at MMADayEvents.com or at SixFlags.com. Use the promo code SCRAPPACK to get a deal on some discount tickets. MMA Day, Saturday, June 22nd, happening at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. I want to wish you the best of luck, Roger, and thank you for giving us so much of your time.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Also on the card, undefeated Cesar Gonzalez, 3-0, going to be fighting as well. We were able to catch up with him, so let's hear his thoughts. This is JWA from SRMA.com on the Verbal Scrap Podcast. We're here talking with Cesar Gonzalez, who's going to be fighting at the MMA Day, Saturday, June 22nd in Vallejo, California. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great.
Well, looking forward to this fight. I mean, I hear you're going to be, competing again, and you've been able to make a run at it in camo, being undefeated. I mean, what do you think about this matchup and being able to compete in Vallejo?
I think this match is going to be another great experience for myself, and I'm feeling confident that my hard work is going to pay off, and my undefeated record is going to stay undefeated.
Well, the first time I was able to see you at Central Coast Throwdown, you were able to get a TKO victory. Your last couple bouts, you were able to win by decision. I mean, what have you thought about your time in camo and your experience? What has it brought you so far, and what are you hoping to bring it into this coming MMA Day fight?
So far, the last two fights, they've gone the distance, but that's just because, because I honestly believe it was because the weight cut was too quick, too soon. And but this time I did it, the right way, where I actually took my time, ate the right salad, ate the right food, and
for sure.
Now I feel stronger than ever. So,
well, now this coming fight,
lots of experience.
This one is going to be hosted by Gilbert Melendez, and you fought at Born to Fight, hosted by Kung Lee. Gallus Fights, hosted by Javier Mendez. This one, like I said, is hosted by Melendez. You've been able to compete at these the amateur events that have been hosted by high-profile fighters. I mean, what are you hoping that this brings as far as eyeballs towards you?
Well, hopefully, these professional fighters, they start noticing me and start, inviting me to cross-train with their gyms, with Knuckle Up Nobody MMA. We always love cross-training with other gyms to get a different feel and to see what we need to work on. But I always love competing when there's lots of pros out there, so it makes me feel like if I'm fighting like one of the pros and stuff.
Well, how's your training been at Nobody's MMA, the Knuckle Up guys? How's the process been coming into MMA Day, and what have you been working on?
We work on different things every day. Now I got like 5 different coaches for 5 different things. I got a Muay Thai, the boxing, jiu-jitsu, cardio, and the wrestling coach. So all this is playing off to hopefully one day become the best, one of the best MMA fighters out there.
Well, Cesar, do you have any thank yous or shout-outs before we let you go, my friend?
I want to give a shout-out to my family for all the love and support, Knuckle Up, Nobody MMA, all my coaches, and my wonderful girlfriend that has supported me all the way. So, hopefully we take this W to another. And hopefully soon we'll start going pro.
Well, you can find ticket information at MMADayEvents.com or at SixFlags.com/Discovery Kingdom. Use the promo code SCRAPPACK for tickets discounted for the MMA Day event Saturday, June 22nd at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. I want to thank you for your time, sir, and I wish you the best of luck, Cesar.
All right, thank you, sir. You have a great weekend.
Back on the Verbal Scrap podcast, brought to you by MMAGold.com, the full-service fighter apparel and management company. If you guys are interested in some of the top management in the area, check out MMAGold.com now for more information. Also, all of the funds that come from any clothing goes right back into the fighters. So you got to love a company that gives back. Check out MMAGold.com for more. For you guys that don't know, we're here on the 44th episode of the Verbal Scrap Podcast. We want to thank all the fans for sharing, listening, liking. Everything you do counts. Everybody you tell about us means something, and we really appreciate it. For you guys that haven't heard yet, John Fitch, Josh Berkman, World Series of Fighting 3 took place, and man, it was exciting. Berkman was able to get a submission victory on John Fitch, and the only way to take it in is to hear what it sounded like.
So chill in there, and early on, not the case, as he goes to work on Fitch. Whoa, he's stunning down. Oh, he should have had him in the full guard. It still might pull it off. He's out. He's out. Is it? Oh! Oh! He felt him go limp. He
It was the referee who didn't even step in. Berkman was the man who caught him, choked him out, and let him go. It was outstanding to watch, and the only way that you can really understand how difficult it is to take that in right away is that Fitch, Berkman, most guys don't ever let up, ever, and the referee has to pull them off, and Berkman let him go and completely got up and walked away before the referee stepped in. So it was outstanding to see the World Series of 3 headlining fight look like that. And Josh Berkman spoke afterwards. So let's hear his thoughts.
Yeah, I think Steve Carl's definitely the number 1 guy in line. I think that he's won 2 fights. He's 2-0, impressive win over Tyson Steele. So I would definitely think he's the number 1 guy. Unless my hand doesn't heal up fast enough, then maybe let.
Yeah, what happened there?
When I hit him early, I guess the doctor thinks I either fractured or popped the tendon. Okay. So it'll be about 6 weeks, but I need a little vacation. I've been working hard.
He has been working hard. More World Series of Fighting coverage coming out on SRMA.com for their August event, so keep us posted with any news you like on our Facebook, facebook.com/SRMA. Brings us into our War MMA coverage. Nick Diaz putting on his historical matchups at Stockton, June 22nd at the Stockton Arena. Mike Pearson's on the card speaking about his jiu-jitsu and wrestling background. So let's listen to a snippet before we hear some machete talk with Caleb Mitchell.
California. I started wrestling in high school, a 4-year wrestler. About 23, I would say, I started training jiu-jitsu. I got the itch. I saw Nate win the show, and I figured that I could follow in his shoes, hopefully. Basically, jiu-jitsu is a grappling sport designed to make your opponent give up or quit by tapping or choking them unconscious, whatever the means be. You're trying to make your opponent quit. It's a pretty respectable outcome in a sport like this. Wrestling's not really designed to make people quit. It's just kind of designed to hold someone down.
I thought that was quite interesting, jiu-jitsu being a sport designed to make people tap, and wrestling's more about the pin. So it makes sense that, a lot of the top wrestlers in the sport might be getting a little grief for not finishing. But Caleb Mitchell, also on the card, going to be fighting the co-main event against Evan Esaguero. We were able to catch up with Caleb. He talked about his matchup, his training, and so much more. So let's now hear Caleb Mitchell. It's Jay Watt from SRMA.com. We're on the Verbal Scrap podcast talking to Caleb Mitchell, who's going to be fighting June 22nd at Stockton Arena in the co-main event of the evening. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. I'm looking forward to the event. It's basically a week away. I mean, how's your preparation coming into this and knowing that it's right around the corner?
It's going really well. I feel great from training. Now I'm starting to taper down, but happen to be out on a couple-hour bike ride right now, so just still getting prepared.
Well, you're going to be fighting Evan Esaguero. He's a seasoned opponent. He's got a good record under his belt. I mean, what have you seen of him, and what do you think about what he's going to bring your way?
Well, from what I've seen, it looks like he's a pretty talented kickboxer. He's had a lot of amateur matches there. He's also a brown belt under Ralph Gracie, so he's definitely going to be ready to bring it, and I'm going to be right there for him, waiting.
Well, you with your CESAR Gracie Jiu-Jitsu background obviously have submissions under your record. He's got a couple TKO wins, more TKOs than he's got submissions. I mean, do you feel like his game plan is going to be to try and keep it on the feet with you?
Yeah, he said that in interviews that he definitely prefers standing up. I'm a tactical jiu-jitsu guy, and I also have some kickboxing under my belt, so I'm ready for whatever he's ready to bring.
Well, your last win over Tony Lamas, I mean, what did you think about your quick submission victory? What did you see in that fight, and what were you able to take out of that moving forward?
Well, I was a little bit surprised when he came right off the bat with the head kick, but I went for the takedown. He tried to throw a guillotine choke on me, and then I threw a kick, a punch, and when he came back at me, I ducked his punch, took his back, and choked him out. So that was a pretty quick submission victory. Didn't get to see too much of what he had, but glad I sealed that one up fast.
Well, what does it mean to you to be involved with the Nick Diaz card? I mean, knowing that you're being able to train with guys like that, and now you're going to be the co-main event of the evening on a card that's going to be in Stockton, the hometown for a lot of those guys. I mean, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've been training for 15 years. Nick knows what I have, and I've been training with him as long as he's been training, along with a lot of other guys from the jiu-jitsu family, and it means a lot to me because I think this is just the start of a lot of big things for Nick and for the rest of us, and so it's wonderful that I get to be on this card and the co-main event as well. I'm honored.
Well, you know, like you said, also on the card, other guys from the event that you might have been able to have been training with. One thing I wanted to ask you in particular, coming into this being the co-main event, you're going to be a top bill, a lot of people looking at you. I mean, how are you hoping this performance pans out for you?
You know, I have a lot of confidence. I've been training so much. For me, it's just another day, you know, another walk in the park. It is a professional bout, but I've been training with all these guys for so long, you know, so many advanced professional athletes that to me it's just another day.
Well, I happened to check out your machete story, and I have to say that was absolutely insane. I had a couple questions I wanted to ask you from it, if you didn't mind. You said you lost your passport. I wanted to ask you, how difficult was it to get out of Guatemala without that?
It wasn't tough at all. Luckily, I kept my wallet. I had enough money in there to where they couldn't get it out of my pocket, which is part of the reason I probably encountered so many problems, and they ended up trying to kill me off of that. But luckily, I still had my ID. Otherwise, it would have been really difficult because they require you to have some form of ID and a police report and a couple other things in order to get your passport back. But since I had those, just went down to the embassy. They gave me a rush passport and showed up a couple days before I had to leave. Luckily, I also have some friends in the city, was able to stay at their house. So it wasn't actually too much of an inconvenience.
Well, the last question I had about the Guatemala thing, you said in the story that when one of the guys charged you, you know, instinctually grabbed the machete. I mean, did you have any game plan before that? I mean, what was going through your mind? You know, you said you were trying to be calm and cool, but before that guy came at you, I mean, did you really have any thoughts as to what you were going to be doing anyway?
No, not at all. I mean, my instinct was to just give them all my stuff and hopefully they'd go away, but you know, they were going for my pockets. They were trying to get my wallet out. At first, I'm just covering my vitals, hoping to get it out. When they couldn't get it, I got slapped with a machete. So then I put my hand down in there to try to pull it out for them. And they weren't too happy about that either. So I brought my hand back up. And then, you know, I didn't do it on purpose, but I just reached over without thinking, touched the handle of his machete just for spatial awareness, realized that where it was, and then when the guy charged at me, I already knew just right where to grab. I grabbed it and just one swoop nailed the guy with the rock. He dropped, and so, you know, it was just instinct, man. I didn't think about it. It just sort of happened.
Well, I mean, fun question. Has that at least gotten you a drink somewhere out with your friends, you know, having a cool machete story like that?
No, you know, it's something that I definitely take with me every day. And going into a fight, it's nice to know that, you know, I survived that. So, you know, how bad can it be just fighting one guy, you know, with no weapons?
Exactly. That's what I took out of your story. Last thing I wanted to ask you about the fight. You know, like you said, you're going to be fighting Evan. The people that I've been speaking about, Coach Black, you know, he said seeing you and having the mindset that you're in right now, you seem like a really dangerous guy. I mean, coming out of this, what do you hope that people take from this fight watching you go against Evan?
You know, I hope that I get to show a little bit of my skills. I've never really shown any stand-up skills too much in my fights. And so if I could put on a little show, that would be great, and really show the type of technique I have, because I train all the time doing kickboxing, doing jiu-jitsu, sambo, and boxing. And I'd just like to be able to showcase a little bit more of my skills. So although it's nice to have quick submission victories, it would also be nice to give the fans a little bit of a show and show them what I got.
Awesome, Caleb. I really appreciate you making time for us, man.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much.
Back on the 44th episode of the Verbal Scrap Podcast. We appreciate all you fans listening to us now on SRMA.com. We got some more coverage coming up for you guys. You can check out War MMA or Nick Diaz Promotions, even Ticketmaster for the June 22nd event happening in Stockton. Thank you to Caleb for making time for us and all the guys out there at War MMA for being kind to us. We look forward to getting out to the event and getting some good coverage going. Also, June 30th, you guys are going to be able to check out World Combat Series, an event for the making in the amateur ranks around here. World Combat Series is going to be putting on their event in Santa Clara. We were able to catch up with Kathy Solorzano, who's going to be fighting Cynthia Calvillo for the flyweight title, so let's hear Kathy's thoughts. It's Jay Watt from SRMA.com on the Verbal Scrap Podcast. We're here with Kathy Solorzano, who's going to be fighting for the flyweight title, World Combat Series on June 30th. How are you doing today, Kathy?
I'm good, thank you.
Cynthia Calvillo, like I said, you're going to be fighting her for the flyweight matchup. I mean, what do you think about her as an opponent? She's been able to fight in a couple different places and in multiple states as well.
Well, I've watched all her fights, and she's definitely really tough. I know it's going to go all the way. This is kind of what I've been wanting. You know, the last couple fights, they ended a little prematurely for me. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone tough, and I think I finally got that match.
Well, you being 3-0 in camo, like you said, your last couple fights have been first-round victories. I mean, what do you think about the run you've been able to make and how your fights have gone so far for you?
I'm pretty happy about them. I mean, I never expected myself to be in the ring in the first place, so I'm still even, surprised myself that I've gone this far.
Well, that's something I wanted to ask you. You know, being an amateur female fighter is even a more rare commodity as opposed to being the male fighters that are a lot more prevalent. I mean, what were your thoughts getting into the sport? I mean, were you looking to train? Were you looking to fight? I mean, what were your thoughts?
I never looked into fighting. I did it just because I like the sport. I like the workouts. Glutton for punishment, I guess. And I kind of just got suckered into fighting, and it's worked out for me, so I'm just going with it.
Well, I just had two more things for you. I mean, World Combat Series, they've been able to host the Camo State Championships last year. I mean, what do you think about them as an organization and the potential to go and get a title belt for those guys?
I think it's cool, and for right now, it's like perfect timing for girls. I mean, it's just like blowing up, and the belt is awesome. If I can come home with the belt, I'd be one happy girl.
Well, last thing I wanted to ask you. I mean, when you see this fight going down in your head, I mean, how do you see it playing out? I mean, where do you see your strengths being able to prevail the most?
I'm more of a ground and pound type chick. I'm really confident in my ground game. I'm hoping it goes all the way. I want to give everybody a good show. I want it to end soon. Win or lose, I'm just going out there to put on a good show.
Well, last thing before we let you go, do you have any thank yous or shout outs you'd like to give?
Thank you. Yes, I'd love to thank my coach and my team for the support and for pushing me. Without them, there's no way I would have ever been here.
Well, you can find all kinds of ticket information at www.worldcombatseries.com and post-fight coverage at srma.com. I want to thank you for your time, Kathy, and wish you the best of luck in your flyweight title fight.
Thank you.
Also on the card, Luis Lightyear Vargas, the lightweight champ for World Combat Series, is going to be taking on Richard Parra, one of the top-ranked guys, #1 in his division in camo, for another title, featherweight title in the World Combat Series. We were able to speak with Mr. Lightyear Vargas and hear his thoughts about potentially being a two-time champion in the same organization. It's Jay Watt from SRMA.com. We're on the Verbal Scrap Podcast talking to the World Combat Series lightweight champion, Luis Lightyear Vargas. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I was wondering how life's been now that you've been able to earn that World Combat Series strap. I mean, have you earned any more respect or any new looks that you haven't before?
No, not really. I still go into the gym and train hard. I always, try to keep my same work ethic with the belt or not. I still want to train the best and the hardest I can.
Well, you were able to beat Okanovich for that title. I mean, what do you think about him as an opponent? And now that you've had time to assess the fight and look back at it, I mean, what do you think you did best? I mean, what are you looking on working forward towards?
Well, my last fight, he was pretty tough. I knew, kind of what he was going to go for and what he was going to do. So I tried to stick to my game plan. You know, my coaches and teammates were, you know, debating about how it was going to turn out. And, you know, we all talked about it. And then we came to the conclusion if I stick to my game plan, you know, I'd come up on top. And so it was a good fight. He's a good guy. He's a tough fighter. Hopefully I see him again for the regionals for the state championship. I'm hoping to get a rematch with him. And, you know, I know he wants it. So I'm not scared of him. It's just, you know, time. You got to wait. And, yeah, pretty much it.
Well, I mean, speaking of timing, you are going to be fighting on June 30th, so you kind of got some stuff going on. You're going to be fighting for the featherweight title, something also unknown before. You know, you're going to be attempting to take a title in 2 different classes for World Combat Series. I mean, before talking about that fight, what's your thought process about potentially having those 2 belts?
I think it's a great opportunity for me. It's the only thing is the weight class is going to be, you know, 15. It's for me right now, it'd be like a 15-pound weight cut, and that's the only thing that's kind of getting me. But other than that, it's going to be great. I mean, I feel ready. I feel, you know, this opportunity is just going to play in perfectly with my MMA and stuff. So I'm happy I got it.
Where you're going to be fighting Richard Parra. I mean, guy's a very respected amateur fighter, state champion as well. I mean, he's been able to pull out 9 KAMO victories, and 7 of those have been by finish. I mean, what do you think about him as an opponent for this title?
I know he's no joke, so I gotta, you know, take my training seriously, and I gotta step up all my conditioning, all my striking, my wrestling, my, you know, all around the game.
Well, coming into this, I mean, what do you see matching up well against him? He's been able to win on the ground. He's been able to win on the feet. So when you see this guy, what do you think is going to be the biggest strength for you coming into the cage?
Obviously, my wrestling is pretty dominant whenever I fight. So, you know, I like to stick to what I'm good at. But I do have a couple things in the arsenal that, you know, a lot of people haven't seen. So hopefully I get to use those too.
Well, last thing, do you have any thanks or shout-outs before we let you go, sir?
I would like to thank everyone that's been helping me out, my family, my mom, my brother, my girlfriend, all my tribal family. There's Justin, Mark, Gabe, Michelle, Alan, Hector, and everyone else at Tribal that's been helping me and pushing me and always keeping me focused. And extra special thanks to my coach, Christian Smith. He's been, you know, a big part of my MMA career, and I'd like to thank him for, you know, welcoming me with open arms to his gym, and everyone at WCS for making the fight happen, and to you.
Awesome. I appreciate it, and I want to thank you for your time. You can find more ticket information at www.worldcombatseries.com and all the post-fight coverage you need at srma.com. I want to thank you for talking to us, lightweight champ Louis Lightyear Vargas. You can check out www.worldcombatseries.com for more ticket information. June 30th in Santa Clara, so check them out. World Combat Series. Thanks to all those guys for making time for us. We really appreciate it. Also, I've been teasing you with it. Now we're going to hear a little bit about it. Mr. Mike Tyson, for you guys that have always thought to yourselves, what does Evander Holyfield's ear taste like? Mike Tyson was asked, so let's hear his thoughts.
How did Evander Holyfield's ear taste?
It tastes like you know what I mean? It didn't taste well at all, but it was, I discussed that with Evander. The ear tastes like and then anybody deciding to eat, you know, because there's some guys out there that eat, you know, human flesh, you know, it's horrible. So Evander, he promotes a hot sauce now, of course, you know, and if I had that hot sauce, that ear probably would taste a lot better, but my advice, try not to bite any ears, guys, please.
Mike Tyson is always changing my life. For the better or for the worse, and I don't know which it is at any point given in time. But I do like listening to Mike Tyson, so thank God someone asked him. I would have probably asked him and got punched, so I'm really happy that Ariel went ahead and made that happen. You can follow us on Twitter at SRMMA Tweets and on Facebook, facebook.com/SRMA. I want to give a thanks to all the people that have been liking our Facebook. We've been getting a lot of people hitting us up on our social media, a lot of people hitting up our website and commenting on our articles and things, and I appreciate that, and everyone that's involved with our product, they really appreciate that. So if you guys want to get involved with SRMA in any way, if you're interested in contributing or writing or taking photos in any way, info@srma.com is the email address to get in touch with us. And also, if you're interested in advertising or anything like that, that's the same place to do it. info@srma.com for more. You heard so much more, and now we're getting to the end of our show, and I wanted to give the opportunity to showcase some local music for you guys that don't know. A band called Short Fuse going to be playing July 13th at the upcoming metal festival, the Summer Slam Metal Festival with Legion's Requiem. So you got to check those guys out on Facebook and Reverb Nation. We're going to be playing their song for you right now called Damage to You. I want to give a thanks to all of our fans and everyone involved, all of the people that took time to interview with us. Thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate the support. And now, for all you fans, if you're listening to us now, you're listening to Short Fuse.